Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's Reflect and Revive. Pastor Tim here. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. Just sitting on my back deck here and just listening to the birds sing and looking out and seeing some squirrels kind of run around. I know Erica personally is not a huge fan of squirrels due to how much they have taken from our bird feeders, but whenever they're not taken from your bird feeders and they're just running around on trees, it is a much more beautiful sight to behold. But I want to take some time out of your day this morning just to talk about one of my favorite characters in the Bible, one of my favorite authors of the Bible, and that is the Apostle Paul. Now, the Apostle Paul would fit today's corporate structure perfectly. Okay, he would probably be writing books about leadership, winning, perseverance, vision. Okay, this man, he just had a lot going on for him, and but the thing is that he kind of was on a different motor than most people are. Okay, because in addition to preaching or teaching, like I said, he would lead churches, and one of my favorite things about him is he would disciple young believers, and one of them who's pretty well known there, and I think he's got a pretty awesome name if I do say so myself, and that's Timothy. But one thing that I learned a long time ago is that the best leaders are also followers. All right, it's not like you just have this set of rules for you and you do by yourself, and you kind of do your own thing and then lead with others and tell other people to do something different, and so Paul was actually a really good follower. In fact, he could, like I said, he could have written several books. I mean, he could have spent some on humility, on submission, on service. Several things, but when it actually came to him first having a relationship with Jesus, he spent time being taught by Peter. Okay, and above all, I genuinely believe that Paul wanted to follow Christ. In fact, he wrote in the book 1 Corinthians 11:1, it says, "Imitate me as I imitate Christ." Okay, and so it's essentially saying, like, just follow after me, because I'm following after Christ. I'm following and doing the best I can. So imitate me, imitate that thing. And I think that's a very rare, especially in today's world, thing to look at, because a lot of times we have leaders who have a mindset of do as I say, not as I do, and not so much of as a imitate me as I imitate Christ. It's more so like I'll tell you how to live and I'll tell you what to do. It doesn't apply for me. I'm not going to do it for myself, but it's good to follow in theory. And so I would just encourage you to find somebody, just sit back and think, like who is somebody who, whenever I look at them, and whether it's been through trials, tribulations, testing, just all the different things, like the ups and downs of life, who has not only withstood it, but also been an encouragement and watching, saying, man, like they handled that really well. And I would encourage you to find a leader to follow, and follow to lead with it. If you're following them, you're following the mindset that you're going to lead. And above everything else, make sure that you're following Jesus yourself and listening to his voice. One time I heard a pretty awesome story that just kind of illustrates that. And there was a guy who was working at this church, and whenever he first got there, he got a key to the church. They had one of those keys that basically all the locks were the same, and so if you had the key to one door, you had a key to the entire facility. And I got my Mike Bahouse key right here, and hasn't been cut out yet. Nothing's been done with it, but whenever he got it made, he noticed that a lot of times he would go in the church, and there would be different doors that he could unlock, and different things that it's like he'd go to one door and unlock it, and go to another and unlock it. But for whatever reason, there was one door in the church that just would not unlock, and it's the same. It had the same locks on as all the other ones, and so they were trying to figure out, so what in the world is going on? So they went to the store, and they were looking at it, and they were saying, hey, okay, so what's the issue here? Why is it not working? And the guy that was working at the store asked him, he said, "Hey, so what key did you use to unlock this? What key, or to make the key, the make the key and fit those locks? What key did you use? Was it the master key?" And they were like, no, it wasn't a master. It was a copy that we had made from the master. And so, basically the copy on there wasn't a copy from the master, but it was the copy of a copy, and so they were able to unlock and get into some doors, but not all doors. You couldn't have access to all the doors. And so, while I do think that it's important to find a leader, and you want to follow after, and think, what are some of the things that you're doing? What are some of the ways that you've been able to follow Jesus through the thick and the thin, and you can follow essentially after them, and become a copy of a copy, so to speak. And some doors will open and it'll work great for you, but in order for you to actually have access to every single door, you need to be a copy of the master, and that's Jesus. Okay, so while I do think it's important to find a leader, I also believe it's very important to follow Jesus yourself, and listen to his voice yourself, because there are going to be times where you're going to need it personally for your own life. Okay, so just kind of a takeaway here, is that great leaders are sensitive to God's leading. And my prayer for you today is, may God give you strength to imitate Jesus and recognize his guidance for your life. Okay, so that's all I have for you this morning. I hope you're doing well. I'm praying for you. Love you. Can't wait to see you on Sunday.